Welcome in guys to another NFL Scout Report, and I'm here to scout Mccord, a quarterback from Syracuse. And last year, his numbers, he was putting up about 4,779 passing yards. He put up some really good numbers. And he had 34 passing touchdowns for 2024. So he had a really good, impressive year at college. Putting some really good numbers, over 4,000 passing yards, 34 touchdowns in his final year at Syracuse this season. Games that I saw him on tape were North Carolina State, Miami, Uncon, Ohio. So those are the games I'm going off, and he's 6'2", 218 pounds. So going into the strengths here, one thing that I liked on his tape, which really impressed me, is lightning quick release and his precise mechanics. Especially to get the ball out quick, and again with his quick releases outside the ball, with his quick release ball mechanic, he can maintain spiral rotations throughout with his throwing motion. So again, he's got a great throwing motion he's showing some precise mechanics on his quick ball release, so he's not holding on to the ball too long, and he's instantly just getting the ball out instantly, which I like about that. His mechanics side of mechanics I like about it, that he's getting the ball pretty quick with his throwing motions. And then one thing I did like is his accuracy in the 15 to 25 yard range on deep routes, and when he's on that 15 to 25 yards, and he's on the deep throw routes, that is where he's at his best. I could he's do some really good plays in that 15 to 25 yards range, where he was to put some great deep balls into the end zone, really showing some NFL starter like qualities, which I really did like on his tape. And then one other thing that when I saw on tape was his throwing ability with outstanding anticipation on timing, and then on the comebacks as well with the deep curls when he before he breaks. So again, his anticipation on his time with his routes are fantastic. That's one thing that really stands out to me, impressed me. And then when he's doing his time routes, he's ultimately that ultimately helps him release the ball, and he can go and break. And then his advanced pre-snap. Another thing that impressed me on his tape was his what I have here is his advanced pre-snap recognition, and allowing him to diagnose coverages from with the defense and stuff, and what plays to work, and work through progressive. He comes off kind of like a veteran quarterback in that kind of sense, where his advanced pre-snap recognition allows him to diagnose coverage, and then his nasty deep ball. He has a nasty deep ball with a perfect kind of arch and touch, and then he consistently, again, when I was talking earlier about his great accuracy in the 15-25 yard range. Like, he's good when he's in that 40 yard range, especially when he's doing his pre-snap recognition, and he's diagnosing situations in the pocket, which I didn't mention. Allows him to diagnose coverages and work through the pockets like an NFL like a veteran from the NFL. Like, he has great pocket awareness, which I do like, which is fantastic. And then what I was saying before with his great deep ball touches, he consistently gets to the receivers and with his strides on vertical routes, especially on that 40 yard line. The 50 to 25 and the 40 yard line, especially on the vertical routes, he's fantastic. Getting to the tight end, wide receiver, And then a couple more here that shows he shines in the red zone situations where he consistently makes some fantastic decisions. Play call making. He shows excellent. What I was talking about before is excellent pocket movement, and one thing that I did like my team, he shows excellent pocket movement and subtle size to buy time, and he's keeping his eyes constantly down the field. I was talking about this with I think it was Quinn Ewell. One of his weaknesses that I picked up on his tape was his down the field awareness. I wasn't, or was it like, it was either Quinn Ewell, or it was, I know it was Dylan Gabriel, it was Quinn Ewell. It was one of those guys I was scouting recently, and I wasn't too happy with their down the field awareness or what they're seeing down the field. When you're looking at Cal Mccord, his excellent pocket movement is great, and his subtle sides, his move side to side, his good hip movement, and then he's constantly looking down the field looking for big plays, which again with like Dylan Gabriel and Gwen Ewell, I wasn't really impressed with. And then we're going into the weaknesses here. So one weakness that I did see here, I will need to adjust on his arm angles more frequently, especially at the NFL level. His arm angles they're okay, but they're not the best. Especially when he's navigating down the throwing lanes and going up against a lot more, especially when he's going up against like Chris Jones and all these elite Hall of Fame worthy defensive linemen and stuff. Again, it's okay getting away with it at college, but your arm angles, and when you try to throw it down the lanes and make big plays, that's one thing that, again, defenses are going to eat you up alive when you're not more precise with your arm movements and your arm adjustments and stuff like that. And then can get over aggressive on attacking the tight windows and down the field situation. Now again, after bringing his down the field situation with his hunting for big plays and his great clean pocket movements, but when he's one thing that really annoyed me on his tape was he's consistently, I don't know why, to put his best in his game, but to consistently go for those tight windows when you don't have to go for those tight windows. Go for a different option. You can throw the ball out of play or just fucking go pass it to the running back or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's different situations you could do. You don't have to keep going for those tight windows downfield if it's not safe to go down there, and it's, because again, you're costing your team about 15-20 points right there with the turnovers and shit like that. But he has limited, one of the other things I picked up on his tape, which is his limited athleticism, which restricts him with his ability to extend plays outside structure. Which again, I was talking about that with the whole throwing lanes thing. His athleticism, when he's not in a structured environment, play calls, he's gonna really struggle. His limited athleticism he has in college has really, with his plays outside structures, have really struggled, and especially when he's going to go to the NFL, that again, defenses that are he's gonna have to work on his running game. That's one thing he's gonna have to work on. Something, especially when you're going up against, like I said, these top level defenses, you're gonna be going, ooh, I'm not comfortable with this. But again, outside of structures, that's where you got to find an offensive coordinator that's going to really get the best out of him, and a team that's really going to suit him and suit the system that you're going to play for him. And then he kind of has he has a base mechanic on he has basic mechanics on under heavy pressures, causing him to step into throws that he shouldn't be stepping into. Again, when he's under pressure, his mechanics are just kind of average. That's something, again, you have to work on. You can work on with, again, whatever offensive coordinator you have. And then the summary here, to me, what I got is he's one of those classic, he's a he's one of those classic pocket passers. He has a good IQ with, especially being a pocket passer. A good IQ with the football as a pocket passer. He has a quick trigger as well with the ball, as I've talked about. And then, which again immediately translates to being, again, he's going to be one of those like based passing. You're going to have to put him in one of those based passing schemes that really gets the best out of him with his ball placement and his anticipation. Again, you'll have to maybe put him in, like, maybe Seattle will be a good fit for him. Maybe, I don't know, like a day 3 Seattle pick to me. But again, he's a you look at him, he's a pocket passer technician that would he's gonna thrive in a clean platform. Like if he's to me, you're gonna have to put him in a team that's gonna a system that's gonna work with him. Maybe you put him in like a Seattle with a Mike McConnell and see what you have, Mike McDonald, and see what you have. But and see what you have, and like maybe like he goes to Seattle, like I said, or maybe he's like a, I don't know, maybe he goes to Baltimore and sits behind Lamar for a year. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. I don't think he's, again, I didn't have him really in my, I think he's gonna be 3rd round, 4th round at best, especially because you're looking at his limited athleticism is gonna really put him down a couple of things here, because you're looking at other quarterbacks in this draft class, and you're looking at Cal Mccord, which again, he's talented as a pocket passer, kind of like he is a Derek Carr type of a quarterback, clean pocket passer technician, stuff like that. He thrives in a clean platform type system. But again, he's very limited with his athleticism, and he's outside of the structure. Plays are going to be questionable. His consistently wanted to be doing the whole, he has this obsession of wanting to make tight plays down the field when he doesn't have to. That has to be stomped out of his game immediately. And his arm angles, especially when he's going to be throwing down the field in the throwing lanes and stuff like that. Again, it's up against a lot better defenses. No disrespect to the colleges and stuff like that, but when you're up against the Chiefs defense, who were the last couple of years been fantastic, you're up against, you know, the Texans, and you're up against the Eagles, who won a Super Bowl with their defense last season, and they were good with their offense last season, but the defense really won them that Super Bowl last year. I think in my opinion, the offense was great, defense won them the ball as well. But yeah, he's definitely going to be like a 3rd or 4th round pick in my opinion.